Hey guys, Scott. I'm back with another Kentucky Derby video. I'm going to take the 2024 Rhythm Star Stakes at the fairgrounds, and I think this drew a very competitive field of horses as it should, given there's 50 points for the Derby. The winner just basically guaranteed a spot in the starting gate, and drew a very competitive field. And let's start with number 11, Track Phantom by Steve Askew. Kind of taking the same path that Gunrunner Epicenter took to the Derby. He got Catch of Freedom, winner of the Smarty Jones by Brad Cox. He won this race a couple of times in the past with Angel of Empire and Mr. Monomoy and then Mandaloon. So certainly Brad Cox has some history in this race. And then you got Sierra Leone, who, if you remember in the Remsen, ran very good for Chad Brown. And it looked like the horse was going to run away and win that game against Dornoch. And this horse kind of hung at the wire. Just, I don't know what happened. Probably something on the mental side. But I'm curious to see what this horse could do. And probably one of the ones I'm more excited about that we'll get into. And then you got Anor Marie, one of the Kentucky Jockey Club. But this will be his first race since November of last year. So, curious to see. And, I think given everything, this is a really good field of horses. And if you want to make money in this race, kind of start eliminating some of these horses. And I'll say Anor Marie probably one of the first ones I would toss, just because if you look at the history of the race, it favors a lot of horses that already have experience over the fairgrounds for the most part, or have, they have some form to them, which is kind of something I said in other videos. But, Epicenter, Mandaloon, Mr. Monomoy, War Will, they all had experience over the fairground surface before. Like I said with Epicenter, he's taking him and Track Phantom are taking the same kind of path. And you just don't see horses really come from a layoff in this race. Even, Gervin, Bravazzo, they've all been racing forwardly going into the race. So for that, if I had to discount one of these horses in this competitive field, it'd probably be Anor Marie. And, for trifecta, superfectas, certainly would put the horse in the bottom of it. Kind of reminds me of Smile Happy a little bit. Last year, Smile Happy won the Kentucky Jockey Club, and I think went off as favorite in last year's edition of the race. And, ended up getting, I think, second. So, for that reason, you should probably discount Anor Marie. And a horse that really intrigues me, Sierra Leone, for Chad Brown. You remember Zandon came over from Aqueduct last year and did really good in this race. Got a very good third, propelled it to a good bluegrass. And, same trainer, Chad Brown. So, certainly, Sierra Leone is going to be on the top of my list. I think you might see some good odds just because of, what happened in the Remsen. And I'm not sure how many people kind of see that same angle with Chad Brown on the Derby Trail. So for that, I'm going to put Sierra Leone on my tickets. And if the odds are right, probably be in the win position too. You got Moonlight, the number 3. Fletcher's had some success before getting the bottom of these superfectas with his horses, but he doesn't really send any of them out that's going to win. You got to go all the way back to 2014 for Fletcher last sent a winner over here. So, for that, Moonlight's really done nothing on the track. Got a second in the street since fourth in the Remsen. So if I put him in where it'd be on the bottom of my tickets, but he's probably one I'm leaning towards leaving off. We'll see how it goes come race day, but for win purposes, Moonlight's not going to be there. Roman Violin, he got second in the Kentucky Jockey Club, won the maiden. Not one you can really discount because Kenny McPeak does have some history of finishing in the, superfecta in the race, getting second, third, fourth. So for that reason, I would leave this horse on my tickets. And then you got Hall of Fame, and I hope this comment doesn't come back to bite me, but I think this horse is going to be the sucker horse of the Risen Star. And I say that because if you look at these other horses, that all won, they've all had some kind of stakes experience. They're all, other than I think Modernists, they're all, they're all fairly raced. They got some seasoning to them. You just don't see a maiden too often just come up in this particular race and steal the show. And I think because Hall of Fame got a little bit better time on this maiden because it was the same day that LeCompte was ran, I think you're going to see that. But the fraction were much faster starting out of the gate, whereas Track Phantom ran some slower fractions. So naturally, they're going to have to go even faster to try to beat that time. So, given that, I think Hall of Fame, I think it's going to be overbet probably 7-5, 8-5. I think people this time of year like to find the wow horse, and this one certainly with a 10-length win. And Steve Askew from Ricardo Santana has, everything you could want to potentially, draw money to it. So we got to start making cuts somewhere. So for me, Hall of Fame is where I'll start making one of the cuts. And like I said, I hope I don't come back to regret this, but I think this is going to be the sucker horse of the race. And you got Catching Freedom, and this is a horse I really don't know what to do with because historically, winners of the Smarty Jones have not done so great the rest of the way on the Derby Trail. Uh, you got to go like way back to try to find a horse in it that's done something. But Brad Cox has won this race 3 times already, so it's kind of, on one hand, Brad Cox kind of, and it's 3 of the last 5. So Brad Cox, he's it seemed like what he's doing when it comes to this race. But at the same time, history says don't bet the Smarty Jones winner. But if there was a time where I'd probably decide to maybe take a chance and go with the Smarty Jones winner, Brad Cox probably be the one I think to do it with. And, we'll see what happens. Owned by Albaugh Family Stables, who really knows how to show up this time of year on the Kentucky Derby Trail. But definitely being my superfecta, I might consider for win bets. Then you got Cardin by Todd Pletcher, and this horse got second at Change of Command. Change of Command didn't run that great in the Sam F. Davis a couple of days ago. So for me, Cardinal might be off my tickets. Also, when I was looking at GPS times for the Sam F. Davis, these horses basically ran, he got second by a neck. So ran about the same time. And Change of Command's GPS times compared to them other horses in the Sam F. Davis did not come back that great. And I think that field is weaker than this field. So I'm going to have a hard time going with Cardinal. And then you got Resilience by Bill Mott. And if there was a maiden I would take, it would be Resilience. And Bill Mott's done pretty good about sending horses over. Of course, he got, the Women Modernists in 2020. And then remember, he sent Country House off his win at Gulfstream over here. And last year, he sent Olympiad, even though that's an older horse. So I think Bill Mott means business when he sends a horse. The horse is Triple Crown nominated. Velasquez is going to come over to ride. So certainly a horse you don't want to leave off your tickets. And then we're going to talk about Track Phantom. And I think Track Phantom is probably the ass piece of horse I want to play. I know, the times for that race were slower than, the other horse. But, still he's won. He won his maiden by 4 3/4 lengths. Won the Gun Runner, won the LeCompte. I think he's going to have to take a step forward. But you've seen it before the ass piece of horses where Gun Runner took the step forward. Epicenter took the step forward. So at some point, got to start giving the trainer a little bit of a benefit of the doubt. And I think if Track Phantom wins this race, this will easily vault him into the top horse on the Derby Trail. And as a fan, I would like to see Steve Asmussen get his first Kentucky Derby win. So I'll be rooting for this horse as a fan side. For a bet perspective, he's going to be in all my trifecta, superfectas. I have to see what the odds are for the win spot. But definitely one to consider. I think it's going to be a very even field as far as, odd-wise go for to find some value. And the horses I think they're going to take more money are ones that I'm particularly, not playing. I think Hall of Fame is going to take some money. And I also think that Anor Marie might take a little bit of money. So for that, you might get, let's say, 4-1 on Track Phantom, where most normal races probably go off at 6-5, 7-5. So if you get that value, certainly one to add for the win spot. But the way I see playing this race, my strategy is kind of a little safety in numbers, if that makes sense. Is I find some horses I like, then I box them in trifectas, superfectas. And, all it takes is a couple of those to pay out in the right combination. And you can have a winning day at the track. So that's how I'm looking towards playing this race right now. But that's my initial thoughts on the race. And thanks, guys, for watching. Plenty more to come.